All right, Edison, how's everybody? Chris Lugo here from Edison Now, back again. Thanks for joining us. I'm here again with another special guest, another special somebody, and we just got done yesterday talking with a special guest from New Brunswick today, talking about wards, and the topic of wards it's a very important topic flying around town right about now. So I thought it would be best to bring in one of our locals here from Edison, one of our councilmen, Councilman Richard Brescher. Councilman, thank you for joining me today.
Good morning, Chris.
How's everything? How's everything on the council?
Council's doing fine. Administration's going to be doing some nice improvements around our town. So
All right.
I think the town's headed in the right direction with that.
In the right direction, yeah. And, maybe that direction in the future could include wards or maybe something that have to do with wards changing the current style.
Yes, I'll tell you
Maybe
what.
going to
The wards are, it's just like a different setup for our government. And being that Edison's so big, at this time here, compared to back in the 80s, to know about all of our local issues, and that's really what a ward system does. You know what I mean? It brings attention to our local issues in the township, where we don't really have that now.
right,
I explained about the Sutton Lane Bridge. Was like that for years.
right,
No one ever took care of it. No one knew about it. Is in essence, what happened there.
right, right. Now Edison never had a ward system, correct? It's always been the style that we have right now at large council, folks.
Going back as far as I can remember, which is probably back to the 70s, but
Right.
before that, I was just playing baseball and stuff, so
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yes, no, we've always been an at-large
At
township.
large, right? Yeah, yeah. Just from talking to people like in and around town, a lot of people seem to be supporting this this effort. Kind of excited about the idea that there could potentially be a petition that can get the question on the ballot for the people to decide. So it seems to have a lot of momentum behind this. Let's take a step back, though. Like Wards 101, if you can imagine. What would be the prime benefits for the people of Edison to switch from what we have now to a ward-based system?
Currently, you can reach out to any of your council people, okay, at any
Yeah.
time. But typically, your council, by state statute, we're not here to help you with your potholes or your local issues. We're really here to watch over the budget for the administration, right? And create laws. That's by statute what we're supposed to do.
Right.
But the residents here in Edison, have told me over and over again, because I get calls about issues with traffic and potholes, and our parks aren't really nice, and they're looking for someone to advocate for them.
Right.
And if that's what you're looking for, that's what I believe the residents are looking for, then you need a ward system. You need somebody that's local to your area, somebody that drives around that area continuously, day in and day out, that knows what those local issues are and can bring it to the administration's attention.
Right.
And that's basically what it comes down to, is just having more of a local representation so that every area of Edison is covered.
Right. So would there be a proposed, would they have any idea how many wards Edison would potentially be broken into if that was the case? Because it is population based, if I'm not mistaken, how they draw the districting of the wards. Do we know like an approximate idea as to how many wards that might be at this point, if it were to, it's something we would go to?
Yes, a petition was put together to have a total of 9 council people. 5 will be wards and 4
Okay.
will be at large. So, like I've heard things from residents where, I have no problem talking to my council people. You still will have at large council people, and you still can talk to them. You know what I mean?
Right.
Their job is to still hear what you have to say. The only difference is, like I said, it's just the local issue, and that
Yeah.
they're living in that area. We're currently Currently, your 08820, your 08837 have people that live there, but your 08817 doesn't have anyone that lives there.
Okay.
So now there'd be 5 wards. Those are 3 area codes.
Right.
So,
Right.
maybe you could say we really have 2 ward council people in Edison currently.
Right. Right. So it would be more personalized attention for that area for these people, more accessible. I guess, yeah, in a way, someone who's more accessible understands the issues, because the issues aren't distributed the same throughout the town. That's for sure. So
Right.
so someone to look after. So one thing that was proposed, and I'd like to get your take about this, is that the proposal of such a system, the proposal of a ward system, would cause some kind of division in town. I personally don't necessarily see that, but your thoughts on such a observation, or
Yeah, I don't see there being division. What I see is that each ward will have different issues that are important to them,
yeah,
right? So certain areas might be looking for more of a quality of life with signage or getting stuff cleaned up. Other ones might want parks and recreations repaired because they've been neglected for a long time,
yeah,
right? So everybody has their own separate issues. And, as a council currently, okay, we do have divide. We do work together, right?
yeah,
It's a little give and take on everybody's part, and my classic example to this is what I would consider the textbook for a ward councilman. We have Joe Coyle and Clara Barton.
okay,
Joe's been advocating for Clara Barton for years, right?
right,
He couldn't really get funding for down there for beautification. The previous administrations weren't, didn't want to put a lot of money down there.
right,
Joe came to like me, Joyce, AJ Patil, looking for support. And we all agreed that, beautification is important to the town.
right,
Okay?
right,
And we agreed that we should do funding. And Joe agreed that he would take care of beautification throughout the whole town of Edison. Okay? And I made a point of talking about the down by Silver Lake and North Edison by the library.
Okay.
We should do some plantings and this and that. So Joe worked with the administration last year, and as everybody knows, we put whatever $100,000, $200,000 worth of flowers or plants down there. Made the place beautiful, looks great. Ended up calling up Joe, yelling and screaming at him because, down on Silver Lake, I'm like, what are we doing down there? And he goes, oh, I put pots down there. I said, Joe, you put 40 pots in Clara Barton. You got 8 on Silver Lake, and I don't see
Right.
a pot all in North Edison. So, I said, Joe, I'll be honest with you, I'm not going to support Clara Barton and their flowers any longer unless this distribution gets distributed equally throughout the town.
right,
And he's like, Richie, that's not a problem moving forward. Everybody's going to get an equal share. And that's where we are. So was there was a unity that we realized something had to be done.
right,
But how that pie got cut up was different. And we disagreed on that.
Right.
So I was advocating more for your Silver Lake and North Edison, where Joe was looking at the Clara Barton thing. And I think that's changed now. Now he realizes that, every district in the town deserves to have this beautification.
right.
So I think this year, moving forward with our budgeting, you're going to have that. So is that division or is that unity, right? I guess it depends on where you want to sit on it, but that's the story
Right.
of what happened.
No, absolutely. I mean, quite honestly, when I hear about division in the town, I think of something like that's causing a real strife, like the Charlie Brown's townhomes, for example.
Building townhomes.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I think of when I think of division, not necessarily the proposal of a new award system. So with the petition, do you know approximately how many signatures we need on that petition for it to move forward?
Yeah, it was something like 3,300 signatures were needed. I tell you, you really need to have 5,000 or more, and not to get it listed on a ballot. For me, that wasn't the intent. The intent wasn't just to put it on a ballot. The intent was to have it pass. So, I look at it like we need about 5,000 signatures to have enough people in the town that believe that this is what's needed.
Right.
So I'm going with the $5,000.
5,000.
Yep.
5,000. And 5,000 would lead it to a question, correct? For November.
It would be a question, and I think then the question will pass.
And the question will pass. Okay. So if the question passes in November, does that mean the following year, 2023, does that mean all the current seats would be up for re-election? Is that what that would mean?
Yes. We looked at this for 8 months or a year. Because we originally tried to see if there was a way that we didn't have to reset the entire council. And the thought was that if we could do that, we could gain more support.
Okay.
Right? Because currently, the way it's proposed is that in 2023, everybody's going to run again. And there's certain council people, they were elected, right? And what we're asking them is for them to have a term 2 years shorter. It's a lot to ask of someone.
Right. No, absolutely. But with that being said, for going into the future, it would actually, I mean, granted, this is not necessarily my realm of expertise, but it would actually seem to me for somebody who would want to run, to represent their ward, it actually might be more achievable for somebody to do that. You don't have to focus efforts campaigning throughout the townwide. You focus more on your ward. It actually might be more affordable for people to actually, run, if they want, to throw their hat in a ring. I actually see a lot of advantages, with that, as well as, more personalized local attention, things of the sort. Because we actually had Charlie Cradiville on last night.
Yes.
Speaking about the wards, what I didn't realize with New Brunswick is it's broken up into wards, but they're not necessarily represented wards. Yes. I had no idea about that. But he mentioned there's five municipalities in Middlesex County that are broken down into the ward system. Do they lend anything to our efforts here in moving forward as far as serving as a model or any guidance for doing what we need to do? Or
well, I'll tell you what, if you and you do know, we have everybody. In fact, our past mayor did not want to hear like Woodbridge does anymore. At one point, he said, I don't want to hear about Woodbridge anymore, because everybody would always point to Woodbridge. They got a community center. They have this. They have that. Blah, 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 blah. Woodbridge has ward system. You know what? And you can't tell me that it's just John McCormick. Okay, Woodbridge has been doing good things for quite some time.
Yeah.
And I think it's because you have those local advocates out there.
Right.
And when you talked about it makes it more affordable, it is more affordable. In fact, you can run a campaign by just being a good neighbor, an active person in your community, and you could beat the councilman that has $50,000 that he's going to just send out flyers saying, I'm the better guy. Right. Because you can actually walk your ward and you could know your people in that ward.
Right.
So it allows, I believe, a better group of people that might not have the funding or finances to actually get involved and make a difference.
Right. Yeah, and that's the key: knowing your people, knowing your streets. In a more intimate fashion, to be able to get done what needs to be done in these in these areas. So I'm curious to see what the petition's going to bring, and I have a lot of confidence that that the people will speak. Will speak again and make another decision. Me personally, I think the signatures will be collected. So we'll see it in November. That's my prediction. I think that's something we could look forward to. But we'll wait and see. Right.
Right.
First things first. Right. Got to collect the signatures. Right. So
I think that's going to happen. After that, if there's enough people or not enough people, we'll see what happens at the polls. Last time I think it lost by 30 votes or something like that.
Okay.
Which tells you that basically 50% of the population learned enough about this at that time to say this is a new form of change for us.
Right.
The other 50%, you cannot say were in believing the old form was good, because you had part of those people that just didn't know enough about either one. Like myself, the last time the wards came up,
Right.
I voted against the ward. Why? We were changing something. I didn't know enough about it. I was working in Manhattan. I'm taking my children to baseball games and everything else.
Right.
You know,
Right.
I didn't have the time to be involved and find out. So I just stayed with the status quo.
Right.
That subsequently changed once my kids got older. I got more involved and I learned more about it.
Sure. When was the last time, if you don't mind me asking? You said it lost by 30 votes. Do you know approximately when that was?
I'd say around 2003 or something like that. It was 20 years
Okay, so
ago.
about 20 years ago.
Yeah, I think it was a while ago. It was 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, you got to be 18, 20 years ago.
Okay, great. And with every census, every 10 years, with the census that comes out, the population spreads, like the data per ward, that would be used for reevaluating ward boundaries and things of the sort, possibly for the rewarding process.
Yes, and they will be checked every 10 years. Not that they make changes. In fact, I think I just looked at a map for our legislative districts. They just redid them. It was on the news this morning.
Okay.
It looks the same to me as what we had before, so I don't notice that there's too much change that happens.
Right.
From time to time, I know we did, because congressionally, I was never in Frank Pallone's district, I think, until the last census.
Okay.
And then I got redistricted from, I think it was Leonard Lance to Frank Pallone's district. So
Okay.
Edison was split. We had two different congressmen here in Edison at one time.
Interesting.
So it does move a little bit, but not drastically, I would say.
Right. I guess how drastic would depend upon the numbers, right? Because I'm not quite sure like what would constitute a change. Because I think you would have to allow for some fluctuation. I mean, nothing is ever created equal, but I guess it would take a real drastic change in order for for a drastic rewarding.
Right. They have a percentage that they're allowed to work within.
Right.
And everybody works. It's made up of like two different parties. You know what I mean? So both sets get to look at this, and they look to have it more towards their side. And like anything else that happens in life, right? When you have two sides, you normally end up where it's fair at the end of the day.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah. I agree with that. It normally ends up somewhere somewhere in the middle, right?
Right.
Yeah. Exactly. And as far as and besides the petition, this was something that the council could have voted on, correct?
Yes, the council could have voted on this. If the council voted on it, it would have been up in November. Okay. The council had control then when they wanted to put it up.
Right.
It goes up by petition. The council no longer has that control. I can't tell you why they voted no. I mean, some people said it was a complicated procedure, a complex issue.
Right. Okay.
And I got to tell you, anybody that wants to do some reading, read the statute. Okay? The statute was very clear. I mean, I was trying to do workarounds with the attorney to make it so that we could stagger it into 2 terms. And myself, Sam, and AJ all tried to change it in a way that we knew it would have a better chance of passing. Okay? And ultimately, the attorney said no to every thought we had.
Okay.
Because the state statute doesn't allow it. So the way we're doing it is really what you have. There's not multiple choices here.
Right. Exactly. So it's the way it's written or no way at all, huh?
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately. So, but Councilman Brescher, I want to thank you so much for coming by. As always, we've had you on before, and hopefully, as this progresses, have you come back and maybe give updates and to see how it's going. Because like I said, this is something that a lot of folks are paying attention to. A lot of them are coming to me with questions. I certainly don't have the answers, but I'm thankful for you to stop
Oh no,
by.
listen, I'll tell you what, the petitioners are out there. They're starting Monday at the American Legion at 7 o'clock. They're starting their petition drive.
Okay, they're starting this Monday, President's Day. Yeah.
I just seen it was Sheila had something on Facebook that she just posted.
Okay.
And it's good. It's good to see the people involved. It's good to see them kind of going out there and starting this. I'll be down there on Monday just to see how they're all doing.
Oh, okay.
Should be a good thing.
Yeah, it should be a good thing, and we had a movement going for Suez, and who knows, maybe this could be something that rivals that in terms of getting people out with signatures and getting them to the polls and voting. But so Monday, the say VFW,
American Legion.
American Legion,
7 o'clock Monday. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. But Councilman Brescher, thanks for coming by this morning. Saturday morning on President's Day, Memorial Day. That's a couple months away. Thanks for stopping by, Councilman Brescher. Hope you come back sometime soon and have some more conversations. There's actually a lot that we could talk about, so we'll just limit it to wards today. But thanks for coming by.
Thank you, Chris.
Not a problem. And everybody here at Sports is at Edison Now, thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. We look forward to bringing you a lot of things that happen in and around the Edison area. Thanks again, and we'll see you all on the flip side. Have a great long weekend, everybody.